Today I'm hacking an IKEA kitchen cart to give my friend Marc an epic multifunction piece for his studio condo space. This was part of a much bigger series that you can check out right here, but this is behind the DIY.
These are the materials you're gonna need to make this project. I've listed them below, but you can also find them at thecoralchannel.com. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you click that subscribe button and turn the bell notifications on so you never miss an episode. All right, let's get into this. First step, we gotta source a kitchen island. Check this out. And I got this for an amazing $100. I don't know what that was. Sound effect. Next step, we gotta remove that tabletop. So I'm just using a Phillips head screwdriver and I'm just gonna take this baby off. Ta-da! And the tables have turned and I'm bringing in my own top. Okay, let's do that. So I've sourced my pine shop shelving. Say that 3 times, pine shop shelving, pine shop shelving. Pine shop shelving. Actually, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. So I sourced my pine shop shelving and I've cut my boards into the following sizes. I had 2 boards cut into 10.5 by 36 and I have 2 boards that are 17 by 36. You can ask your local hardware store to cut these boards for you so you never have to touch a power tool. Power to ya. Now, your 2 10.5s are going to be glued together, which is something we call a glue up. A glue up means you're gonna take wood glue, run it down the side of your 10.5-inch board, take your other one, stick it together, and then you're gonna clamp them together until the wood glue is dried. You'll get a little bit of squeeze out from your wood glue, but just take a damp cloth and run it right across the board to remove anything, and then let it dry. I guess I'll go for lunch. Let's move on. So now that the glue up is all done, I still have a bit of a gap that's coming through. So what I'm using is a wood filler and I'm just gonna apply some onto my finger here. And I'm just going to run it right along the gap. Because this is gonna be the top to the entire island, it's super important that I make sure that this board actually looks the best. Now, all I need to do is just let that dry and then we're just gonna sand it away. I'm gonna use my Orbit sander and I'm gonna start with an 80 grit just to make sure I can take away all of this wood glue. So now all we have to do is flip these babies over, make sure we sand down the other side. We're all sanded, and before we give our boards a bit of a pre-stain, I'm gonna be using a tack cloth, which is basically like a sticky cheesecloth, to pick up any bits that are inside the board. Once it's done, it's time to prep your board for staining. I always recommend doing a nice pre-stain on all your boards before you stain it the color that you want. By pre-staining, you're avoiding blotchy stains. Bam, pre-stained. So I'm going with a dark brown stain. I believe the color is espresso. Also reminds me that I want a coffee.
It's espresso, by the way. Yes.
That's what I said.
Espresso.
No, there's no X. No X.
Espresso. So I'm using a cotton rag and I'm just going to be staining into the grain of my wood. You can use whatever device you want, but I opt for cotton rags. It's my favorite, my go-to, and it's never failed me, so I'm gonna stick with it. Okay, we have our first layer done in the espresso color. So I'm gonna flip these over, do the other side, put on a finish, and we can finish our project. I like to espresso myself. How great did these look now? I've done about 2 coats of finish on these boards. I'm gonna give my board a nice light sand using a 120 grit sandpaper, and then apply another coat of finish. So let's bring in our finished boards. Ta-da! So we got our boards. It's amazing. Let's put this piece together. So take your finished 21-inch board to the top of your kitchen island, leaving about 1 inch on each side. It's like a little lip. Now attach your board using a 5/8 inch wood screw. Everything hinges on this moment. Are you ready? That was really underwhelming. It is this device that's going to allow my tabletop to Murphy open and lock in place. All right, add in some hinges. So I'm gonna pop this guy up, I'm gonna line this up to my table here. When you wanna work, you pop it up, lock it in place, and bam. Yes, this looks so cool. Now you just have to take your two 17-inch boards and attach it to your hinge. I find it's best to attach that tabletop when the bracket's fully extended. That way you can bunt up that piece of board right to the middle piece so that you get a nice flush top. I feel like I'm doing the chicken dance now. It's the Murphy hinge dance. Voila! You have your completely hacked DIY Murphy kitchen island. Oh, you got a friend that comes over, Murphy up the other side, bam, you got an entire table. See, now I can drink my espresso with my espresso colored table. Oh, that's really cold. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you like this hack, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and let me know what kind of hacks you've done in the past. And is it cooler than this one? Because it's pretty handy. And if you haven't checked out this video, go do it. Or that one.